Boom. There it is. We're in 2024, y'all. Come on in to the Real Money Coach Show. Listen, this is 2024, and you know how we do. If you haven't forgotten since last year, you just got to put in the chat where you are watching from. Now, I know we showed you some great couple replays the last couple weeks of December because Michelle and Dante kind of still worked it, but we took a little time off. Hope you don't mind. I know you don't. I had a wonderful, let me tell y'all something. I had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas season, man. And y'all already know Jesus is the reason for the season. But let me tell you something. Having my family around, I'll talk all about that when Michelle gets on the air with us because you know how we are. We go so far back. Our family so deeply entwined. Harvey Jones, thank you, sir. Let me just tell Harvey Jones. I mean, I know I sent him a text message and all that, but let me just tell Harvey Jones happy belated birthday. His birthday was the day after Christmas. A great guy, Harvey Jones, in Birmingham, Alabama. Look at that. There we go. And hey, listen, if you celebrated a birthday and you happen to be listening right now, put it in the chat so that we can acknowledge your birthday. Maybe we'll start doing that. Maybe we'll start doing a little bit of acknowledgement of birthdays because we're kind of revamping a little bit of the show. Look at Ari talking about 72 trips around the sun. Timothy Day, thank you for being here. Timothy Day, my friend, my team member, my colleague from Durham, North Carolina. Thank you for tuning in as well. And listen, I'll tell you what, if you can, just go tell Mom and them that the Real Money Coach Show is on the air. And we got a phenomenal guest coming on tonight that you do want to hear from. And, you know, I have to have just a serious moment. Got to have a serious moment. Timothy Day, happy birthday. Today is his birthday. Awesome. I know there's some other folks, you know, that are around the first, the second. Happy birthday, Timothy. All right, man. That is awesome. But I have to have this serious moment with y'all. You know, I don't know quite how to say this. And if I could say this, and let me put it this way, and still be loved by all you Alabama fans. Go Blue. So yeah, listen, there we go, Dante. You know what time it is. Listen, we had a wonderful time watching the game last night. I had a couple friends come over, and so we had a great time watching Michigan pull it out in overtime. The other game was a great game too. So pretty awesome to see that. So y'all know I'm a big U of A. My phone was blowing up. People texting me and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I was like, oh, it's no big deal, right? It's just a game. Y'all know that ain't true. Let me do this. Let me stop, y'all. Let me stop being silly and bring my co-host on. Michelle Mitchell Consulting Group. Hey, Michelle.
Good evening, Tony.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful.
Good.
How was your holiday?
My holidays was great. Yes.
Good. Good.
Being with the family and um, just taking leisurely time off and being at home, and I did a lot of cooking. A lot of cooking. Mm-hmm.
Brad Hudson is in the house. Brad, as a
Yes.
matter of fact, Brad was the lead on that Mary Kay meeting I just came out of. And we got Kimberly McGuinn is in the house. So yeah, Michelle, we had a wonderful Christmas. The little Tony the third was in the house, right? Trey was
I
in
got
the house.
pictures. Yes.
We got pictures, all of that. So, and then everybody came to church with us on, Christmas Eve. And I thought about Kimberly, talked about them grandkids, man. They came into church running, right?
Did they take over church? Because I know you got a few that might do that.
Carter, the 18-month-old. Carter, like, man, listen, I'm not gonna sit back in this seat when my granddaddy's up there. Y'all gonna have to hold me back, right? So, but yeah, we had a great time spending time with family.
Awesome.
But the Lord first, family second. I mean, it's just pretty cool. And then we even went to church at midnight. Watch night service. We said we wasn't gonna go, but we got up and went. And so we had to sleep in.
Did you have a cup of coffee
before I went?
Yes.
No, I didn't. I ran out of time. Because I was trying to take me a nap before I went. But
of course.
But it's just good to be in 2024. It's good to have our TRMC family back online with us as we go through this year. And I do want to do this. I do want to let you all know, and we talk about this all the time, and we're going to be a little bit more intentional about a couple things. And number one, we want to be more intentional about you guys embracing some of the services and stuff that we provide, but also we want referrals, right? And you guys know Michelle is phenomenal in the area of finance and financial services for business owners and women, and we do our thing on the personal side. And so you will see more commercials, more things, so that you all can engage with us. And again, I want to remind you, it's just we love referrals. We love referrals. We love when you refer people to us and all that good stuff. And so this is going to be a great year for you and for me and for everybody listening. I just believe it. I believe 2024 is kind of going to be one of those breakout years. Now, I haven't done my study of numbers yet, right, Michelle? Because, I'll get into Bible and figure out what these numeral means, right. But I haven't had a chance to do that with 2024 yet. But I just believe it's going to be a great year, that favor will flow through the TRMC family. So
we are claiming that.
Michelle, can you share with us maybe real quick before we bring on our guests, what's one of your goals, or one goal you think every business owner should have going into 2024?
It's a good question. I think every business should have some sort of financial goal. For sure, because you got to have something you're aiming at, right?
Right.
Otherwise, it's just you just keep doing the same thing, and what results are you getting? So, all about results. So, I think you should have a financial goal for sure. But then, as the leader of the company, you should have your own personal goal as well.
Yeah. Well, and everyone, the leader and every individual that works in every individual, every individual in the enterprise ought to have some personal goals. And I think that you should have goals that kind of mirror our lives, right? We should have some financial goals. We should have some spiritual goals.
Yes.
And some health goals, right? And when I think of health goals, I'm not thinking about just physical health, but even our mental health.
Absolutely.
Making sure that you're getting vacation, you're getting time off, you're getting these things to refresh and renew, right? So we ought to have, physical goals, emotional goals, spiritual goals, and obviously too the financial goals. And then I think in our relationships.
In relationship goals.
Do you have relationships that need to be restored? Do you have relationships that you want to take to a next level? All these things. As we talk about, as we say, ministering to the whole person. So I hope you all will do that. One thing I do want to announce, I didn't, Michelle, I don't think I even made one post in 2 weeks in terms of social media either. I think I had some prepared, but I didn't even do that. But I do want to remind people that, we have signed the contracts for the Power Networking Conference that will be here. We've been talking about it for a while, but had not actually signed the contract. The contracts are signed July 10th through the 13th here in Charlotte. And we will we'll have a great time. So we will be offering some discount registrations and that type of thing as time goes. And so, hey, Dante, in and out. So we will do that. And so before we bring out our special guest, we're going to take a quick commercial, maybe two. And we're going to kind of fine tune this a little bit. I kind of had forgotten about it. Again, I went, when my wife is off work.
I know you just fall off the face of the earth. You do.
I like that old girl. But, it's almost like when we were in college.
Yeah, I was the roommate, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, Dante, let's take a quick commercial break, and we come back. I'm going to come with our guest that we have tonight, Coach Martha Rice. Dante, take it away. And what I want to encourage you to do is email me your questions, your comments, or even suggestions of topics that you'd like us to cover on the Real Money Coach Show. You can email it to info@therealmoneycoach.com. Again, that's info@therealmoneycoach.com. Email us your questions, your comments, your suggestions, and we will answer those on air and also on our Facebook Live YouTube show on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you email us so that we can get that information that you want to know in your ears.
Do you have passion for your business but feel like your finances are falling short? Running a business takes more than a great idea. It takes a solid financial plan. Mitchell Consulting can help you turn your passion into profit with their financial advisory services. Get the financial guidance your business needs. Contact Mitchell Consulting to learn more about their passion to profit capabilities.
There it is.
Yeah, love it.
Very nice, very nice. And we want to give a shout out to also my godson, who I don't know if he actually did your commercial, but he's phenomenal.
He is.
Antonio Mitchell II. And so, Michelle, I'm really excited. I was introduced to our guest tonight by another one of our guests who's been on the show before, Stephen Hutchinson. And this is Martha Rice. She is the owner and founder of Complete in Him, professional certified life and health coach, right? And so she is certified by the International Coaches Foundation and is a trained counselor. She earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in psychology from Roosevelt University and a Master's in Art, Marriage, and Family Therapy in Chicago, Illinois. And look, I graduated, right? Thank you, Lottie. She graduated summa cum laude. No, she's Six Sigma. Oh, wait a minute. I thought that was her graduation credentials. She's a Six Sigma green belt.
Okay.
So she can get your mind right and knock you upside the head. What are you talking about? I don't know what that is, but she'll explain it to her. But let's bring her on. Let's bring on Coach Martha Rice, because I'm kind of in a silly mood tonight. Come on, Martha. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How you guys doing? And happy birthday to all the people on the show that announced that they had a birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
And happy New Year to everyone.
Yes, happy New Year.
Welcome to the chaos that we call the Real Money Coach Show. So, but we have fun. We enjoy each other and we enjoy our audience. So what I'd like to do, since I was really kind of blotching up your bio, if you wouldn't just mind taking a few minutes to tell the audience a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your credentials, and then we can kind of get into, what some of your passions.
Absolutely. Again, my name is Martha Rice, and I am the founder and owner of Complete in Him, Transformation Life and Health Coaching. Actually, I went to Roosevelt University when I discovered that my passion was finding out, why do people think the way they think and do the things that they do? And that degree led me to go further after I took care of my mom as her caregiver, to go further and go get my master's in marriage and family therapy. And I was curious about the church system. I was always curious about, okay, we get saved, but what happened to the train wreck behind us? And so I wanted to delve deeper to help God's people. So I ended up getting my master's in marriage and family therapy at the Atlas School of Professional Psychology. When I left there, after, losing my mom, I ended up in San Antonio. I had this desire to coach or, counsel the military community. And so my supervisor recommended San Antonio. I wanted to go somewhere warm anyway, because I don't like cold weather.
Wait a minute. You from Chicago?
Chicago. I do not like cold weather at all. I kid you not. Don't put me in cold weather. No.
Neither do I, and I'm still here. Oh,
so I was like, no more snow for me. And so I came to San Antonio. And one of the things I know, that when I was in Chicago counseling, I had to write up every note and take every note. And I really wanted my focus to be on the clients. And I hated that part of the job. But so when I came to San Antonio, I had to start over and get an internship to get licensed as a counselor. And so student loans, you need money. So I went back to one of the things that I do, which was one of the things I did then was I was always good at administrative. My career before this was administrative assistant. So when I came, and I'm a people person, so I like being around people. And so when I was at the company, I started to grow in leadership. And that's what led me to the Lean Six Sigma Green Belt. The company paid for me to do this master's program. And
yes. So tell Tony what that is, because he obviously don't know.
I was completely.
He was like, I did take karate before, but I
like, okay, what?
I did take karate before, but I ain't make it to no green belt.
Out, right? Get out of this thing.
I didn't make it to no green belt, but I did take karate before. But this is a process improvement methodology.
Yes.
Okay.
And so it helped help companies improve their processes. So I was able to take that course, but within that course, you had to do a project. And I did the project and I was successful at it, and I passed the test and got the certification. But the certification really helped me to think about my business differently. So what I did, I did a shift. I said, I really like this life coaching component, because I like how the difference between life coaching and counseling is life coaching is moving you forward. Counseling is, they go back, they dig deep into your past to get you to move forward. So it's a little different. You really have to be trained in counseling in order to take someone back, to bring them forward. But when it comes to life coaching, you're questioning them and they're coming. The answers are, I believe the answers are inside. If I ask the right question, you will open up and get the answers that you need. And that's what I do. The counseling part, I do know counseling techniques because I do keep up my certifications. I mean, I do keep my, my CEUs and all of that. But I didn't want to get licensed in Texas because I honestly didn't want to be confined to just Texas. Mm-hmm. I'm able to coach other people. I have clients all over the world. And so I can go into other countries. And I like that because I like helping people. So I took that road instead. So that landed me into the life coaching aspect. And I love it because what I do is, Jesus was the best coach, right? Mm-hmm. And when especially when the woman at the well, that dialogue he had with her at the woman at the well was just exactly what I love. And that's what I do in the room, because what I do is what I believe set me apart is I'm really praying before I even enter the room. Mm. I pray before I see my clients because I'm credentialed. I got credentials and that's fine. But the real artwork comes from the gift that he gave me to do the coaching and counseling that I do comes from him anyway. So I go back to the source and say, hey, you know this person, you created this person, show me what I need to see that they're not showing me. And that's where the real artwork began in the room, and the glory of God is just amazing. And I walk out and I'm so amazed at the work he does in that room when I put him first and pray for him, because I allow the Holy Spirit to work through me, since he gave me the gift to do the job.
Yes.
That's good.
Love it.
Excellent. Absolutely. Because there's, we have a lot of people that come on and really a lot of experts. I mean, we're really amazed every week at the guests that we have and how their authority in their areas and all this. And many of them are believers, but the way you just explained that and brought in even the woman at the well, that dialogue, I ain't gonna be able to go to bed tonight without going back. But I love that aspect. I think that's great because, in a lot of my financial classes, I go to, First or Second Kings 4, and, the woman with with the man of God, and she lost her husband and all this stuff and go get empty jars and, all those things. Great entrepreneur story there. So I love that. And, one of the things is, we have so many different self-help books. And even if you go down to the granddaddy of them all self-help book, which is what? Think and Grow Rich. Right. Biblical concepts through and through that book. And so I think that's pretty awesome. So tell us a little bit about what your vision for your business is. What is that like in terms of there? I know you're involved in a couple different initiatives and different things.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what's on the horizon for Coach Martha Rice.
So with the like I said, when I started doing the life coaching part, I love it. But I also love the fact that I can go into corporations, and I was hired this past year to go in a corporation and counsel their employees. And that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And I love it. It was a great experience. I was able to speak, do workshops. I like doing that as well. I like speaking engagements. I also decided to take a little extra shift to separate the church from my business. So what I do, I want to help God's people. That was really the reason why I really wanted to go into this, is to help God's people. And so I started doing this certification as first responders. And what that is it teaches you how to go into a church, set up a care facility where the members can go to you and talk to you, and you can kind of assess their needs, and you walk them through the journey of getting their needs met. Getting to, like, if they need a psychiatrist, you walk them through, you refer them to a psychiatrist, but you walk them through. You don't just say, okay, here's the number. No, you follow up, because sometimes people are a little nervous about going in that area. Change is not easy for everybody. And so they need that assistance, because they may be dealing with trauma. And when the pastors are not equipped to handle that, or know when someone in front of them is having an episode, that's where you have a team, you have counselors, you have psychiatrists, you have the pastor is part of that, the nurses, stuff like that, in the church, working to help the body of Christ, because that's what brings unity. We don't all have to do the same thing. We are members of one body, but we all serve in different areas. It's room for everybody. And so I want to be able to be that person that's either set it up or be a part of, whichever way God leads. So when I was caregiving for my mom, one of the most amazing things about that experience was that I wasn't equipped.
Mm.
I didn't have a nurse. I wasn't a nurse. Matter of fact, I was far from it. I was saved, but I wasn't nowhere near where I am today, right? And so and I'm gonna write a book. I'm working on a book. I don't want to tell everything about it, but, but I'm working on a book to talk about the story, but it's from a caregiver's point of view. And because I believe caregiving is a calling.
Mhm.
And God chooses who he wants to put in that place. But that was a great experience for me because number one, it let me know God was at work, but he chose me to come and work with him. Like he did Moses when he called Moses. It wasn't like Moses had an idea. Oh, wow. No, God called Moses and he told Moses, this is what I want you to do. Here's the problem. This is what I want you to do. Go in there and take care of the problem.
Right.
When he did that to me, my husband said, baby, it's you. I've been praying for my mother to get someone to help take care of her. And my husband was like, it's you. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. He said, I'll support you, which was the greatest thing ever. He said, I'll support you. But one of the things that really stood out to me was the fact that I didn't have any credentials.
Mm.
You know, when as you were talking about it, I wrote this down and you know, you may have heard this somewhere before, but he doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that was the most amazing experience for me because I went in there terrified. Like literally, like I had so much anxiety going in because I was like, oh my God, especially with my track record from back in the day before I got saved. I was not even trustworthy to go in.
Well, you know, here's the thing that I want to kind of, bookmark this for, because I think there's a great lesson, even as we go into 2024 with this, is that there's things that God has called us to do, whether, you know, that could be the relationships, that could be starting a business, that could be getting a degree, going for the promotion. And there's people that may be listening even now that are scared out of their mind because of what God is telling them to do. But yet we have to find the strength and the faith to do it. Right. And Michelle, I mean, Michelle, you can drop some dimes, right? Because Michelle said one day, I'm going to give you credit for this, Michelle.
Okay.
If you take the step, God will raise the floor to meet your foot.
That's right.
And I'm like, oh my God.
I believe that.
And then the other thing and I know I'm off on a tangent. The other thing that I heard you say is that you cannot read the instructions from inside the box.
That is true. You cannot read the label of a jar from the inside.
Inside of the jar. You got to get outside of that thing.
You got to get outside
of yourself, right?
Yes.
In order to read the instructions that's there.
Yes.
And sometimes God's got to pull us outside of ourselves
Right.
so that we can really get the instruction that he's written on our life.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what he did to me. And I tell that the reason why I'm talking about that is because it's leading me into what he put on my heart to move forward in is a nonprofit for the church part of it, where I will still have my LLC, which would be complete in him. I'm working on a name for the nonprofit right now. Praying about it. I'm praying step by step. What I did ask the Lord was this. I said, Lord, I believe this is what you're calling me to do. But can you help me not run before you, and also help me to be sensitive to the Holy Spirit like I was when I took care of my mother. because that was the most amazing experience.
Life changing.
Life changing. When I walked
Yes.
out of that experience, I thought it was just taking care of my mom, but God was developing my character.
Yes.
Mm.
And I would have to tell you the same thing in this. It's because you don't know the process of creating the nonprofit.
I do not.
You're gonna have to go back to where you were and trust.
That's exactly what I'm gonna have to do, because I don't
Yes,
know.
because
And I'm okay with not knowing.
Yes.
Right.
And you'll put people in your path that knows what to do.
Right.
And I totally, that's what I believe. And
Yes.
that's why I said that's what I'm learning. Just surrender it all. Just like I did then. I was at the point where I didn't know nothing. He led me to my doctor, who let me know, hey, you great to be a caregiver. Do not play the martyr. You have 7 other siblings. Use them. You guys can be a team. They don't have to do what you do, but make a team. That was the first part of my God developing leadership in me. That was my first platform to learn.
Let me just say this. Let me say this. If you can lead your family,
especially when you messed up so much trust in the past. I was like, when they knew it was me, they was like, whoa.
Wow.
No.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you think is the key to building or restoring trust?
I think you, from experience, you first have to acknowledge the fact that you made a bad name for yourself. So you need to apologize and come to grips with what you did, and let the people know, I understand your viewpoint, but just watch what I do. And I think you have to be honest with them and authentic, because you can't do so much dirt and come in and think, hey, here I am. No, it don't work like that. You have to let them know, I know you're afraid, but give me a chance. Give me a chance to do this. I didn't say it quite like that. I was like, what, God called me. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't know why he picked me, but I'm gonna do the best I can. But see, God showed them what I can do. He showed them a little glimpse, because what I did was I went up there for a week and my sister, she's passed away now, but she was her caregiver, but she was sickly. So people don't understand that all the work was on her, but nobody understood what she was going through. But when her and I talked, I said, I'll come relieve you for a week and take that off your hands. At that time, my mom was in a deep depression and I was in college. I had a scholarship and I was 2 hours away. And I drove up there. And when I drove up there, she was in a catatonic state, where that means that she was just there. She wasn't responsive, none of that. And I went there the first day. My sister, I relieved her. She already trained me a week before on how to take care of my mom. And when I went there, she was in a wheelchair. And I knew she loved her nails and her feet done. So I started there as the Holy Spirit led me. So I washed her feet and I gave her a really nice pedicure. And then I did her nails and she looked up at me and smiled. That was the first response I had gotten. By the second day, she was telling me what she wanted to see on TV. I'm talking about a transformation right before my eyes, had nothing to do with, I'm not special like that, but it was God. Right. I watched God revive her, but it was through the whole power of the Holy Spirit, through love. My brother came by. He usually come by and drop off maybe some meat to help the family out. And he'll leave because she wasn't talking to nobody. this time I said, "Come." She said, "Come on in," and he was like shocked, you know.
Hmm.
And he came in and he had a full blown conversation with her. And when he left, when I was walking him to the door, he a Jehovah's Witness.
Mm.
So what did you do? I said, that was God. He doing his thing. You know, that was before I got 100% full-time caregiving. That God had to show him a glimpse of what was to come before I got there. So when by the time I got there, they were okay with me doing it, but okay,
Still a little
shady.
apprehensive.
She a little shady. Let's see how long she gonna keep this up. They was a little. That's what they was nervous about because I wasn't dependable.
Gotcha.
But through that experience, God taught me the importance of being dependable.
Mhm.
That was the character He was building in me to be more dependable and reliable, because and trustworthy and using it with integrity. You can only learn that through experience, right?
Mhm.
And so God allowed me to learn that through that platform. And so it was like, think about it. I had to hire people. They had to show up. If they didn't show up, it was all on me. I felt the labor of that. And that's what I understood through that experience, that, whoa, if you're not reliable, this is what happens. This is what happened when I don't show up.
On the other end of it, yeah.
You see, this is what happened when I don't show up. Oh my God, I really messed that up. It was really, think about it. If I had an appointment and nobody show up, I'm stuck. But I didn't think about people in that way.
Mhm.
And so God used that platform to change my character, to get me where I was. But that wasn't the reason why I was in the mental health field. What got me in the mental health field was when my parents got divorced when I was little. And I watched my family fall apart. And everybody dealt with it different.
Yeah.
And that's what made me get into the mental health field.
So there's a whole lot of book in there.
Right.
Right? It is. It's a whole lot to that. It's a whole lot to it, because it really is. And I wanted to bless caregivers, because those are the ones that's never looked at.
Mm.
And understanding the calling that it is.
And it's very taxing. I mean, it will, yeah. That's so good. I have to introduce you to a lady in Dallas that is, I mean, that's what she specializes in, is caregiving and training caregivers. The people who are receiving, because there's so much to it, and I can't, by any stretch of the mean, really explain it, because I haven't been through it from that standpoint, not to that degree. And I think it's one of those things too, is like, if you haven't been through it, you can't really describe it or understand it. It's just like me trying to tell y'all what it's like to have a baby. I mean, y'all just like get up, right? So if you haven't been through it, it's kind of hard. It's hard to.
But it's funny, even when you go through it, it's so many dimensions. It can be different for everybody, and everybody cannot go about it the same way. It's a certain structure that goes with that, depending on the family dynamic and the needs of the person who's being cared for.
So here's a question I have for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the church and going in and having a nonprofit where you would help people. What do you think about? I guess the question I'm wondering is church folks in cash.
Mm-hmm.
The financial woes that people, and what are you seeing in your background in terms of marriage and family counseling, counseling in the church, that a lot of them are coming from finances, or finances are adding fuel to the fire, so to speak. What do you see there in your experience?
Woo. Lack of financial literacy.
Mhm.
People don't want to talk about finances.
Mhm.
For some reason, there's a negative connotation connected to looking at finances, but
Mhm.
finances show you, like, I know for me, it showed me not just money, it showed me a pattern
Mhm.
of how I was spending.
How
When it
you
comes
relate
to
it to
exactly how I relate to it.
Yeah,
What did I
yeah,
learn it? You know,
relationship.
what do I learn? Because I do an assessment called a healthy esteem with my clients. And finances, when they struggle with that, I'm glad now I have people I can send them to, because
absolutely.
that's not my area. But if they got a deficit in that area, there's going to be a deficit in every other aspect in their life. Because when they go to church and, you know, people get a little funny about church asking for money when they broke. And also they get people really hold on to their money out of scarcity, right? And so
Mindset.
and then you got people been hurt in churches because, oh, God told me to tell you to bless the church with $10,000, and that's all you have in your savings, and you can't pay your rent the next month. People
Right.
don't have the correct discernment when it comes to money in church. You have to do God gives you a whole mapping of how to deal with money in church. But we have to read the Bible for ourselves. And I think that financial literacy and what you guys do will help so many people in the church, because they don't know and they don't want to talk about it. That's the elephant in the room that nobody
wants to talk about,
Yep.
right?
Nobody.
and then people scared to go to financial experts because they feel they're gonna be judged.
Right.
Right.
Right. That shame, right?
Yes.
People feel like, I'm embarrassed or whatever. And really there's no reason to be. And
No
then
reason at all.
I think on the other end, you have that spectrum, right, where I'm struggling, I'm kind of ashamed, I might be X amount of age or whatever. And then you have people that might be like, I make a lot of money, why I should have more and I don't.
Mhm.
And then, the money scripts, right? And then you got the other folks that kind of worship their money.
Mhm.
And so
Right.
you got you got the spectrum all the way across the board.
Yeah.
And
So-
I'll be transparent. I'm very transparent, by the way. But I remember when I was first introduced to money, I think I told you a little bit about the story where my father took me shopping, slapped the credit card on the counter and had me get all my clothes. And I was like, ooh, I want a credit card when I get older. And then I watched him. Everybody came to him. So I saw power.
Mhm.
So I related credit cards to power.
Mhm.
And so if I got rejected for not being able to get a credit card, I felt like I just wanted
You had no power.
I just wanted to go in the
Power.
corner and just
Mhm.
ball up in fetal position. But when I got approved, I was like, yeah, got power, right? And
Mhm.
so you can imagine my debt. Just swiping. I can get whatever I want, no budget, none of that. Until one day I looked up and money coming through. And I'm like, hold up, I'm making too much money, but I'm spending too much money.
Right.
And I got all this credit card debt that ain't serving me no purpose. I can do so much more for the kingdom of God. And people always think the kingdom of God is church. No, I could do so much more with the kingdom of God by helping other people if I didn't have this. And so I had to literally understand that credit card was an idol.
Mm.
But it wasn't. I wasn't looking at it as an idol, but it was because the idol was not the credit card. It was the power. that I wanted.
That you felt when you
Yes,
had
I
that
felt.
credit.
Yeah,
power.
it was the power
Yes.
I felt.
Yes.
And it was that sense of like reevaluating myself and saying, Lord, what, thanks for showing me this. I did not know I had an idol in my life. And so I started cutting up credit cards and paying, start to do the Dave Ramsey snowball effect.
Method.
Yeah. But it's a struggle because you want what you want, but you got to say, is it a need? When you're in that habit for years, it's hard to break that habit, but it's really the psychology behind it.
Yes.
Because Tony, what do we say? Get an accountability partner. Let them know.
Yes.
24 hours. And then if you still want it, then go ahead and do it.
Now, your accountability partner can't be a bigger spender than you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting an accountability partner. Mm-hmm. I mean, I ended up telling it to a group at a retreat and had my accountability partners to pray for me and ask God, to help me. So that's what he did, you know, but you can't, if you don't look at it, it will definitely follow you. You have to eventually let it slap you in the face.
You got to deal with it.
You got to deal with it. You have to deal with it. And so I think money is, man, that's a huge part that play a role in counseling, because guess what? It break up marriages.
Yeah.
It changed the whole family system when the money is not right.
Yeah.
It's a whole trauma. Money is related to trauma.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is.
Wow. I enjoyed your story, your transparency, openness. And even as we, shifted to the money conversation, you're just very transparent. And and that helps people, when we can really be real about it. And so, look, my cousin Lynette, she said, I enjoyed the conversation regarding caregivers coping and the financial accountability. Right. And so that's all part of this journey that we call life. Right.
Exactly.
And we have so much hope, right? Because our hope is not in ourselves. It's not in man. It's not in who's going to win the election in 2024, right? Or all those things. Our hope is built, like the song said, on Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And that's where our hope is. And so we don't hope like normal people hope. We got a great hope. And so I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed how, we can talk about 2024. And I think, maybe Michelle, maybe we do a whole series on 2024 goals in January, where people can come and share what their 2024 goals are. And, where, God is they feel God is taking them. And so it's awesome. And so I appreciate you coming on and sharing, and we're going to give you the last words. And also, please tell us, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, or they wanted to engage in your services or something like that, how would they do that?
Yeah. So I also have a podcast coming up. My husband and I, we're working on getting all the setup. Have it set up before next week, I think. So I always wanted to do Mondays with Martha, and that's just a little 30-minute talking about, just encourage, my gift is encouragement. And so just to edify and encourage people on Monday mornings, because some people draggy and I got that, I got that joyful personality, so I want to use it. And
every time I talk to you laugh and giggle. It's just
part of my personality. It's the weirdest thing. People think I just laugh out of nervousness. No, I just love life. I've just got this joyful personality God blessed me with, and so I want to be able to spread that. It's a gift. I want to be able to spread it. Most people that's around me, they feel the joy. And so I want to be able to do it as with the audience. And then my husband and I, we have a very unique marriage where we went through a lot, but God got us through it all. And we're a blended family, and we want to talk about the real stuff. And so we're going to come on Sundays and do that in the podcast to talk about marriage, relationships and stuff like that. And so that's what I got coming up. But if you want to get in touch with me, you just go to www.complete.him.com. And you can also call me at 210-544-3631. And we can discuss what you need. And if I can't help you, I am also in a group called the Impact Team. And that's a team of counselors, life coaches that I refer out to as well if I need the help. And so we have a lot to look forward to in 2024. We will be doing workshops. I'll be doing workshops with that group Impact. It's a very great team of people, leaders. And so I'm excited about that. So it's a lot to look forward to in 2024. The biggest thing is that it's all for God's glory. He said, go, therefore, make disciples.
Yes.
And that's how we do it. We go out there and we help people and meet them where they are. And that's how we make disciples.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. And please let us know about the podcast so that we can let folks know about it. And I'm gonna drop your website here in the chat as well so that people can have that and see that. If that did I freeze up?
No.
Okay. I thought I froze up for a second. So I did drop that in the chat. So thank you for taking the time out. I mean, this wasn't planned like weeks in advance. It's like, oh girl, what you doing? I know.
You said Tuesday. No, that's it. Okay.
That's Tuesday.
But yeah, so Michelle, we got to link up too, so we can.
Yeah, I'll make sure that you guys are connected.
Absolutely.
And the other thing that I was thinking is, as we were talking about here, and you're saying getting your nonprofit off, and what I don't know, and this might be that divine hookup right here. You're looking on the screen at somebody that can, that's how God works.
That's all I can say is praise him.
Praise him. Absolutely.
I'm letting them lead me. I'm like a baby.
I am a resource here. So
there you go.
Done it before.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing too. I want to just let everyone know as we close down next week, our guest is going to be a gentleman named Chris Boulder. He has a new book out called Broken. Broken, and the tagline, it is a redemption story, shows how purpose triumphs over failures and how we can learn from our mistakes to make a difference. And so he will share his stories of being incarcerated, and now he is living a strong, productive life in ministry, working for a seminary and so forth. So it's going to be another one of those great redemptive stories. So that's what we have in store for you next week, right here on the Real Money Coach Show. Again, Coach, give it up for Coach Martha Rice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you both for having me.
Yes.
And as always, Mrs. Michelle Mitchell, thank you for being here. And y'all, we will see you next week, and be looking for what's different is that now that I'm taking a break from the actual radio broadcast, is that this will be released as a podcast on all of the podcasting networks, as well as, of course, it's always available under the live tab in YouTube. So if you want to go back and check it out, or you want to recommend it to other people, let them know. Real Money Coach Show on all your podcasting networks. With that, everybody have a good night. God bless you.
All
and
right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Good
Have a good
night.
night.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.